Now, after scientists warn about breaching of global temperatures, southern Europe is now bracing for a summer of severe drought. While some regions are already suffering water shortages, farmers are expecting their worst yields in decades. And as climate change makes regions hotter and drier, years of consecutive drought have depleted groundwater reserves. Soils have become bone dry in Spain, southern France, Italy, and in northern France, in northern African countries like Tunisia, and low river and reservoir levels, they're now threatening this summer's hydropower production and also access to drinking water. As temperatures climb into summertime, scientists warn Europe is on track for another brutal summer. After suffering the hottest year on record in 2022, researchers said EU suffered the worst drought in at least 500 years. More frequent and severe droughts have been reported in the Mediterranean region, where average temperatures are now 1.5 degrees Celsius higher than it was 150 years ago.
Very dry Sahara, southern Mediterranean conditions are moving northwards. So we are just going to expect drier conditions in the whole Mediterranean region, and this is going to cause a lot of impacts on farmers and on households and on the industry.
Now, despite these forecast, preparations are lagging. Many farming regions are yet to adopt water-saving methods like precision irrigation or switch to more drought-hardy crops. France is emerging from its driest winter since 1959, with drought crisis alerts already activated in 4 prefectures here. Under President Emmanuel Macron's new national water management strategy, France aims to reduce overall water consumption by 10% by the end of the decade. And under the plan, each sector has been asked to draw proposals to reduce their water use.
We will put in place by early May an instrument that resembles what we did with EcoWatt, with energy, and EcoWatt for water, which will be put in place by the Ecology Ministry and shared to all industry actors. This will allow us to make everyone aware of their responsibilities, because when there are risks of drought and we have difficulties.
In Spain, which saw less than half its average rainfall through April this year, thousands of people are now relying on truck deliveries for drinking water, while regions including Catalonia have imposed water restrictions.
So we're already seeing there's a lot of restrictions being imposed by countries across the region in terms of water that can be used. So you cannot fill up your pool in case you would have any. But more importantly, there's also farmers that are being imposed with restrictions in terms of how much water they can use for irrigating their croplands. And combining this with extreme heat that occurs in April, the time which is crucial for crops to grow, this implies that there may be real troubles in terms of crop yields, agricultural yields in this growing season.
Some farmers have already reported crop losses as high as 80%, with cereals and oilseeds among those affected. Such deep shortage set the stage for a repeat of last year's summer, when Italy suffered its most severe drought in 70 years. Meanwhile, managing water and deciding who gets access to it, it's turning into a political issue across the continent. In 2022, water use restrictions were imposed in the UK, France, Spain and Italy. The restrictions further raised questions about the prioritization of water use for tourist infrastructure, big industrial installations and agriculture.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.